Yay! Finally, it would not let me on. It kept saying it was going live, but then it never did. So, hey, good evening. It's Wednesday night, and I am drinking water tonight. So, my husband is downstairs. It is apparently time for him to pick his fantasy football team. So, he's doing that tonight. So, I decided to come up here at the last minute and do a live stream. So, yeah, I didn't announce this at all. And luckily, I didn't because I was a minute late since I couldn't get it to start. I don't know what was going on. So, at 6 o'clock today, so an hour and a half ago, the new part, it's episode 11. So it's part two of the improv composition thing. So it dropped at 6 o'clock and you guys are loving it. So let me look. So I'm very pleased. So whenever you do new videos, it tells you how it's doing. So it'll say ranking by views. So based on, it's only been up for an hour and 23 minutes. And right now it's had more views by far than any other video I have uploaded up to this point. And so that's been the trend for the past, every single video that I've uploaded has gotten more views and faster than the one before it. So I guess that's good. So I'm up to, what does it say? 339. Yes, 339 subscribers now. So for reference, on August 1st, I had 3. So that's pretty good. So it has been a little over a month since I actually started pushing hard on this, and I'm up to 339 of you paying attention. So that's pretty good. So let's see. I thought that I was going to be able to, well, okay, so let's back up. If you watched episode 10 or the previous live stream it did, you know that I thought I was going to be able to do the whole improv cold top in one episode. I don't know why I thought I could do it that fast. And then I said, well, it'll have to be 2 episodes. And so then I filmed the stuff for the second episode, and then I realized, no, it's going to need to be 3. So it's definitely only 3 though, because I'm totally done filming everything, and I've actually dropped all the raw footage into my video editor now. So I basically know that it's going to fit into the third video. So part 12, episode 12 is going to be part 3 of improv composition. So finally. So I'm going to probably drop that on. I still need to edit it. It's all the files are downloaded, put in there, but I have to go through the editing process. And, I have a real job. So, I have to do that first. They get mad at me if I, just don't do my job. So, unfortunately. So, yeah, so I had to do that first. And I don't think it's really going to take me too terribly long to edit this one because I didn't hem and haw too much. So, part 2 took me a really long time to edit. It was like 3-hour editing job because I kept wanting to chop out boring parts. So, like right there where I paused, if I was editing this, which I won't because this is a live stream, I would have chopped that out so that you didn't have to listen to the long pause. So it makes the video more streamlined and makes me sound less like this, where I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. So yeah, and then I talk about something and then I decide that's just I've gone off on a tangent. So I chop the tangents out. So it's really nice being able to just sort of wing it as you go. And then when you go back into the editing, you can chop it all out. But I go a little extreme sometimes and, I'll take out like a 1 second pause where whatever. So hopefully you're appreciating the fact that I am over editing. Okay. So part 3, those of you who are actually watching the live stream, either live or not live, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. So this is actually, I haven't trimmed the sides yet. I still have to trim the sides, but this is what that final quilt looks like when it's all put together. So it's just a little quilt. It's not like a giant thing. So it ends up being 4 blocks, and it's really, really wild looking, honestly. It's very busy. And the colors on, I don't know how good the colors look on this webcam, but it's not quite as loud as it looks on what I'm looking at right now. But I do have HDR turned on, so maybe it's not as, uh, the orange is not quite as orange as it looks in that picture. So, yeah, so that's what's going on there. So, and there are no hard pants on tonight. These are my soft, comfy pants that I've been wearing all day. It did change into not my pajama top. And this actually makes it easy to put my microphone on so you can actually hear me. So, yeah, let's see what else is going on. All right, so I have started thinking about what we're going to do now that we've finished up this thing. So, episode 13, I thought it was going to be episode 11 where I moved over, but episode 13 is going to be the beginning. And I have decided that I am going to do a series that is called something like I haven't actually officially named it yet, so don't quote me on this, but something like improv, or you can improv anything. So, or you can improv everything. I don't know. I keep going back and forth. So basically, the idea is if you saw one of the earlier live streams, I talked about this, but basically, I want to show how you can take a very traditional looking block, maybe something made up of all half square triangles, or, lots of line geese and half square triangles and put together, whatever, but that you can take that very traditional looking block, look at it, and then make all the bits and pieces using improv, and then make it in a very improv way, but you get the look and feel of the traditional block. So I think that'll be really cool because I think a lot of people appreciate that, because I think people start doing improv, or they watch these videos about improv, maybe because they're a little bit scared of improv, and maybe they look at something like this crazy thing and they're like, I don't like that, it's all asymmetrical, it's weird, I like things straight and orderly. And I sort of want to show that you can do symmetric things improv, that it doesn't have to be crazy and out there and very abstract and super modern. It can look modern traditional. Think like G's Bend. A lot of their stuff was, or and still is, very modern traditional in a lot of ways. So it was traditional, but they were doing it in their own way, which turns out to be very modern. So yeah, so we're just I think that's what I'm gonna do because I think some people will really appreciate it. And we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to think through the first one and sort of try it out, see how it goes. And if people like it, then I'll continue the series. I don't really have a beginning and ending kind of planned at this point because, like all my videos, I do, super improv video as well. I just start out with a video prompt, and sometimes I get some supplies together, and sometimes I just start recording and just start going. So we'll figure it out as we go, as in all things. So yeah. Oh, look, some people chatted. Oh yeah, maple leaf. Improv maple leaf. That's a really good idea. Yeah, I'll definitely put maple leaf. Let me get something to write on so I don't forget that. Maple leaf. Because I do like maple leaf blocks. They're super cute. Let's see. Maple leaf. Yeah, I'll put that on there. And there's also, so I live in North Carolina, and there's a thing called the Carolina Lily block, which I'm going to write it on my list since I'm talking about it, because I think that would be really cool to show how to make that one improv. But there's a lot of blocks that people, traditional blocks that people don't make because they're worried they're not going to get their points perfectly perfect, or they're worried it's going to be super fussy or something like that. And when you do it improv, you can sort of, dial in on the points aren't going to be there, or, you can sort of go away from trying to be perfect, and then you embrace the wonkiness, and then it's more fun to make it. So yeah, I really think that's where I'm going to go with it because that tends to be the videos that tend to get the most comments, and then the feedback that I've gotten from people watching seems like that's what people like. So I want to give you people what you want. So I can go so many different directions with this. So I might as well do what people want to watch. All right, so let's see. Yeah, pumpkins. Pumpkins would look good too. Yeah, Carolina lily is it's sort of like it goes at a diagonal. There's sort of a there's different ways. I've seen it different ways, but it's sort of is like a pot in the corner, and then a stem comes up and it breaks off, and it's three flowers, usually red flowers. It's usually white with green with red is what it looks like. But there's a bunch of different lily blocks, but for whatever reason, that's the Carolina lily. I've never actually made a traditional Carolina lily. I've just seen it. So, but yeah, I think that is all I have to share for tonight. So I'm going to wrap this up and I am going to go downstairs and maybe work on editing that video, or maybe I'm going to work on. I've been reading a book, which, if you saw, I was on Instagram. I posted about this book on Instagram and it's really, really good. It's teaching creative workshops online and in person. So that's a thing that I'm getting ready to really jump into doing is both in I've taught classes in real life on in classrooms and I like it and I really enjoy online classes myself as a student. So I've been wanting to do that. But I took a thing with Lyric Kennard about the virtual teaching academy and I got all of a bunch of equipment. And that's actually how I got started on doing the YouTube stuff because I had all the equipment and I said, well, I should just make YouTube videos. So I did. And, but yeah, that's, I've been reading that book and trying to think through how I'm going to move it on to the next step and maybe set up workshops and things like that. And we'll see how that all goes. Okay, let's see. Uh, it's still going to be improv. Somebody said they love what I was doing, but that I love that's going to be that they love the improv. It's still going to be improv because that's definitely the lane I have picked. I do all kinds of quilting. So everything from EPP to applique to FPP to like if you can think of it, I've probably tried it. Kawandi, I jumped in like head head first a couple of years ago and I went kind of crazy. I love all the things. But when I was trying to decide which way to go with the YouTube channel, I was just looking around and I thought, there's not a lot of people talking about improv on YouTube. And I know it's popular because I take improv classes all the time and I know other people enjoy learning about improv. So I said, well, I won't have as much competition and I can do my own thing. And, I'm not trying to copy anyone else. I'll just do it the way I want to do it and see what happens. So I think that's it's working pretty well so far. So we'll see how that goes. I could switch at any time. Who knows? So we'll see. All right. I think that's it. Let's see if there's any more comments yeah. Yep. That seems to be all the comments that people left. So I didn't want anybody to think I had ignored them or didn't see their comments. So thanks for joining, and thanks to anyone who's watching this not live. And drop a comment down below if you have a favorite traditional block that you think I should show you how to improv or show people how to improv. And I will make a running list. I will come up with the different ways to do it. Maybe I'll group them together by, I'll do a whole like 3 in a row with a bunch of half square triangles, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. So winging it as always. All right. Y'all have a good night and I will see you around. And make sure you go watch episode 11. It's on now. All right. Bye, y'all.